I left my husband 3 weeks ago and moved back to my birth country with our children. My family was shocked when they found out because everybody thought we had the perfect relationship and my move was abrupt. I didn't give them many details about what happened, but I was clearly devastated and angry. To my face, it felt like my entire family was rallying around me to give me the support I needed. However, I recently learned from my sister that some of my siblings, their partners, and even my dad have been making bets on how long it would take me to return to my husband. They also have a group chat with my husband, giving him updates on me, suggestions on how to fix things, and discussing his trip here in a week. Sister said she was scared for me, so she decided to show me the group chat. I was angry at everybody, mostly my dad, since I didn't expect it from him. I found out during a party with my extended family, and I was so angry that I couldn't hold it in and ended up confronting my dad and yelling at him in front of everybody. I've never yelled at my dad before, and I think everybody was shocked, including him. He told me he was my father and I shouldn't speak to him like that. I kept yelling until my mom and aunts took me into the other room to calm me down. I've since refused to apologize to my dad and told my other brother to screw off over this. Am I the idiot? They had a group chat where they reported your details to the man you just left? Oh, honey, bring the fire and brimstone down on these unempathetic sucks. He does not get to play the father card when they've done that. What a massive violation of your trust. Tell every one of them where they can shove it and find new housing ASAP. What your family's doing could be dangerous to you and your kids. When my ex and I split up, my mom kept in contact with him, even if I had asked her not to disclose any information about me. He used it to gather information about me and started a nasty court case where he tried to take away the kid. One of his arguments was that he was obviously the better parent because why would my own mother betray me otherwise? It gave him loads of ammunition, boosted his confidence, and led to years of fighting. Yeah, this is a huge betrayal. The bet is petty and bad enough, but having a private chat where people are including the ex and talking about the OP and passing info on to the ex? Very, very bad. Probably yelling at him isn't enough. Go complete no contact until he gets his priorities right. Your whole family, except your sister, is awful. So they're turning your marital problems into a betting pool for their amusement and spying on you on behalf of your ex? These people are heartless and way out of line, and their actions are inexcusable. Do they pull wings off of live butterflies for a hobby? OP, you have my sympathy. I'm sure you're going through enough right now without being surrounded by cruelty and traitors. He ended up telling me he was my father. He told you he's a worthless idiot. Fix that for you. So it's probably best to step back from your family if you can afford to, because as you can see, most of them act like idiots, and the rest also don't make any efforts to stop that kind of behavior. Did I read right that they also plan to ambush you with the visit from your husband in about a week? That's so messed up in my opinion. Yeah, sis is right. It's downright dangerous. And the husband planning a trip to see OP, trying to figure out tactics to manipulate OP to go back to him, and not letting OP live their own life is obsessive behavior. If OP can, I recommend finding out the duration of the trip and taking the kids somewhere else until he leaves for their safety. Life is not a romance movie where showing up at your ex's place will win them back. It's more likely to win a restraining order than an ex. I live in a small condo, less than 600 feet, with a roommate, Caitlin. We didn't know each other before moving in. She rents the bigger room and I rent the smaller one. Our landlord told us she wanted to sell the condo, and I jumped in on the opportunity to buy it. She sold it to me almost 50% below the market price, so it's great. I already gave her the deposit, and we'll sign the papers in a few days, so then the condo will be mine 3 months from now. After giving our landlord the deposit, Caitlin was ecstatic. She brought champagne to celebrate and told me that I was the best, and she would save so much money from now on by not having to pay rent. I don't know where she got this from, and I thought our landlord already told her how long she has until she has to move out, but it seems not. I told Caitlin it was a small condo, and I didn't need a roommate anymore. Unfortunately, she'll have to move out in 3 months, but I'd gladly help her look for a new place. She flipped out. She asked me if I seriously wanted to evict her and throw her out onto the street. She said she thought we were friends, and if she had the money to buy the place, she would have let me stay for free, because that's what decent people do. Then she switched and started bargaining with me that I could have the bigger room and she would stay in the small room. She won't bother me much, and so on. I feel a bit guilty. I really thought it was a given that she would have to move out. Maybe I should have told Caitlin before giving the deposit to our landlord. I feel sorry for her. I know she doesn't make a lot of money, but at 26, I don't want to live in a small room anymore, especially if I own the condo. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Wow. She immediately assumed she wouldn't have to pay rent? Why? To me, this would have been a conversation about it, if I would have to then pay rent to you, or if I should start looking for a place. Instead, you gave her ample time to find a new place and offered to help look. I'm disturbed that Caitlin's first thought was that she would live rent-free. That's incredibly entitled. Did she think you got it for free? If you want to make a nice gesture, you could help her look for a place or help her pay for movers, etc., depending on the severity of her financial situation. But you are not entitled to keep her as a roommate, nor should you feel an ounce of regret for doing what's right for you. No, silly, that's not how this works. OP bought it, so obviously had the money. All of it, in cash stuffed in his mattress. Of course. Duh. Who in their right mind would expect someone they only know because they rented the same place would give them a pass and free rent? Pretty entitled for someone to assume that they won't have to pay. Once you have officially bought the condo, find a good landlord lawyer and legally notify her of how long she has to stay. If she stays beyond that, you'll have to evict her, and having a lawyer to do it properly is important. Be careful that she doesn't do any damage to the place. Also, make sure the landlord gives you the security deposit she and you paid. You will have to return her portion. Congratulations on your new place. We had a family get-together. My older brother Adam, 45, came over also. We all got pizzas. My son Drew, a young teen, is autistic and vegetarian. He also has food texture issues, so the only pizza he likes is cheese. Drew was waiting until everyone settled down to get his pizza to avoid him being overwhelmed. Adam, who normally eats meat lovers pizza, went second to last and grabbed the last 6 pieces of cheese and licked them in front of my son. So now he didn't have any pizza to eat. I called Adam out and he laughed, saying, "Early birds." I got angry and kicked Adam out of my home. My parents got mad, saying that it was Father's Day and I was ruining it for my dad. I told my mom this was the last family event I would ever host at home. We hosted everything since I got married almost 20 years ago. My parents said I overreacted, thus ruining my dad's Father's Day. I said Adam ruined it by going after a kid with autism for no reason. My mom left crying, but I'm not backing down and hosting any more events. My house is the only one big enough to host everyone for the holidays and birthdays, so that's why I could be the idiot on this one. Edit. Part of it is Adam thinks vegetarians are stupid or something. I don't know how to reason with his logic. He pulled this at every get-together since my son decided to stop eating meat and trying to tease him with ham, turkey, or burgers. Normally, I just tell my son that his uncle is small and stupid. This was the first time he pulled this, leaving nothing for my son to eat. It's like he planned it. Not the idiot, but a 45-year-old man licked 6 slices of pizza on purpose so his nephew wouldn't eat? What is wrong with him? Who does that? The fact that the kid has autism makes it worse, but that's totally gross behavior. Who licks food so other people can't have any? Who wants to make it so that someone else can't eat too? And who allows that and turns on the person calling out the messed up behavior? Apparently, according to OP, he's just a baby over nephew going vegetarian. The grandparents saw nothing wrong with that and defended their disgusting son. Yikes. Something is seriously wrong with these people. You are not the idiot, OP. I wouldn't host these people ever again either. He took 6 pieces. Not only is that an abnormal portion of pizza for one sitting, but he was at someone else's house, and it's common etiquette not to take lots of food for yourself at the guest house. The fact that he didn't apologize is just a nail in the coffin. Sorry your family didn't back you up. You're in the right here. Your most important job is to parent, protect, and support your son. What your brother did is cruel and disgusting. It would be whether or not your son was on the spectrum. It's all the worse because he is. That your own parents can't understand that on Father's Day, of all days, a day dedicated to the importance of parenting, is their failure. They're being selfish and failing to understand the cruelty of your brother's actions, failing to support their grandkid, and failing to support you in being a good parent. They're lucky that all you said was that you refused to host. Many would refuse to talk to them. I, 43 female, have been very involved in my niece, young teen Scarlett's life. I frequently visit my sister and brother-in-law and often have auntie days with Scarlett, her sister, and my own kids. Scarlett is a beautiful, creative, and clever girl, but she unfortunately can have an entitled attitude. Her parents are middle class. My sister works part-time while my brother-in-law is a magnet school principal. We explained to Scarlett that she will not get everything she wants in life, but we will always make sure she has whatever she needs. Unfortunately, Scarlett isn't the only one who gets told no, as this applies to every child in our family. Scarlett still believes that because certain kids at her school have more money, she should always get expensive things too. She always believes that because my partner and I make more money, we should buy pricey things for her. My sister and brother-in-law continue to enforce boundaries and say that they're waiting for when Scarlett matures. Scarlett's birthday is in a week. We will be on vacation on that day. So 2 days ago, I treated Scarlett to a mall trip. We had a spa day, got lunch, then we're about to head home when Scarlett said she wanted to go to the Apple store. Scarlett showed me one of the MacBook Air laptops and told me she wanted it. I asked if the Chromebook I got her for school was broken. She said it worked, but a girl in her class had a MacBook Air, so she wanted one too. I explained to Scarlett that if she were willing to wait until Christmas, I could try to find her one on sale, but I couldn't afford it at the current price. Scarlett began to throw a tantrum because my son has a laptop that's over $2,000, a laptop I got secondhand, and which my son has used for over 8 years. I explained this to her, but Scarlett continued her tantrum, calling me a greedy witch. Finally, I firmly told her, Scarlett, if you don't stop this behavior right now, I'll return your other gifts, and you'll get nothing from me. Scarlett continued to use profanity towards me, so I told her that's it. So we walked back to all the stores and returned everything. Glittery phone case, jewelry, stuffed animals, everything. The only thing I didn't return was a book, but I kept it and told Scarlett I would hold on to it until I felt she had learned to be grateful. Scarlett whined in the car about not getting the things, and I told her, Scarlett, if you had been grateful, you would have gotten all of those things. But you weren't, and now you have nothing from me. So many kids' families can't even afford food. I want you to think about all your things and learn to be grateful. My sister and brother-in-law agreed with my actions, but my brother-in-law's parents said that I was cruel to take birthday presents away from a child, and that they would be rebuying Scarlett's the gifts I returned. I don't believe in rewarding bad behavior, and Scarlett will never be content until she learns to be grateful. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. She called you a greedy witch? If I had ever spoken to any adult that way at her age, I probably would have been grounded for a year. Not sure if she's always used profanity with adults when angry, but her behavior needs to be checked before she does it to someone who doesn't care for her the way that you do. You were right to return her birthday gifts because bad behavior should never be rewarded. Returning them was the consequence of her actions. LOL, forget grounding. My mom would have snatched the soul straight out of my body. It could be that Scarlett hasn't been seeing enough firm boundaries being kept, which is why she believes she can get away with throwing a tantrum to get an expensive item, which, given the brother-in-law's parents, it seems like she could be used to being rewarded for bad behavior or having consequences undone. No joke, if my kid got taken out for their birthday and pulled a stunt as this kid did, they wouldn't get a birthday celebration, period. It would be a hard, tough lesson to learn, but respect and gratitude are critical things to learn. It's honestly nuts that a young teen is acting that way. I, 29 female, have been together with my boyfriend, 31, for 4 years, and he's recently proposed. I'm not a native English speaker, so apologies for any mistakes. When my now fiancé and I started dating, his mother, Emma, was thrilled. She asked me for a few recipes for national dishes, and I reluctantly gave her one of my family recipes. She's made it before and it wasn't bad. Possibly she could have used a bit more seasoning, but I totally understand her being on the safe side here. This past weekend, Emma invited my fiancé and me for a family dinner so I could meet the rest of my fiancé's family. She said that she would cook the traditional national dish based on my family recipe again. As she had cooked it before and it tasted good, I was happy that the rest of his family would try it. I asked Emma if she would like any help in the kitchen, but she declined. Dinner was on a Saturday. Emma made the dish and introduced it as a national dish of my country and made it using the family recipe I gave her, but it was nowhere close to the recipe I had given her. She had replaced a lot of ingredients, so it was a completely different dish and was inedible. All the ingredients the dish contains can easily be acquired through a normal shop, and there's nothing fancy that might be required. To put it in perspective, it would be the same if someone put super noodles and fried fish in a pita and called it a taco. As the dish was not edible, many guests tried maybe a spoon and haven't touched it. I got a little bit upset and went to the bathroom to fix my makeup. When I went downstairs, I heard people discussing the dish and saying how unwilling they were to try any more food from my country due to how disgusting the dish was served at dinner. I got even more upset, and after the dinner ended, asked Emma why she had done that to me. Emma was confused and said she tried to change it up a bit, and the recipe is not as good if it can't be edited. I told her what she did was not fair, as my family's been preparing the dish following the recipe for generations, and it always turned out delicious. She should have picked a different time to do her edits, to which Emma called me ungrateful. My fiancé is on my side and told Emma that he couldn't forgive her for disrespecting me like this, and then we left. My future father-in-law told me I was an idiot for causing all of this fuss and dividing the family apart over food. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. What was the relationship between you and mother-in-law like before? Yeah, this sounds horrible, but the benefit of the doubt is that she's just a bad cook and also didn't know better. I agree. She not only misrepresented it to others as a cultural dish, but also as a family dish. So she not only disrespected the culture, but she also disrespected OP's family and family history. I was cooking rice the Asian way as I grew up in Asia. Mother-in-law decided it couldn't possibly be right and added a load of extra water, so we ended up with rice porridge. It was awful. She then told everyone I had cooked the rice. I pulled her on it and said, no, I may have started cooking the rice, but this effort was hers. After all, she decided to take over halfway through because she didn't trust me and added more water. What you could have said was, "Thank you so much, Emma, for your take on my national dish. A bit different from the way we do it. Never seen X in it before, but the effort was appreciated." Oh, I would be so offended if someone cooked a bad batch of rice and then accused me of it. What's with mother-in-laws messing up their kid's spouse's cooking? What kind of stupid power play is that? I'm glad you only gave her that one recipe and that your fiancé is on your side.